to the garden.
Gotcha. And next question for Rose. What did you bring into the table to become the first person to solve the JJ puzzle?
Just being myself. That's it's pretty difficult to deal with when I'm totally in tune with myself and I'm flowing. It don't matter who I'm fighting. That's just a problem for anybody.
How much being already fighting for the belt once in your career, how much did you gain from the experience since it came so early in your career to now? Or just like you were a different person, so it doesn't matter?
I carry all of my experiences with me, whether they be a win or a loss. But losing the first title fight definitely has brought my team together closer than ever and has made everybody kind of just build me up from the ground up. I was definitely riding on a lot of talent and a lot of just improvisational skills. But since then, we've built a good base of boxing movement, and then added in my kicks there. My jiu-jitsu has totally changed from being a bottom fighter to a top fighter. But now I'm totally complete everywhere. So I'm the total package.
I'm very happy. This is what I'm expecting, Rose. I'm expecting really good fight and real war. But I wanna just tell you that you never faced someone like me. And I'm the champion for a reason, and I will prove that on November 4th, baby. I'm making history one more time at the Garden.
And my final question is for Cody. Cody, will you have to fight different coming off of such a major back surgery earlier this year, or we'll see the same aggressive sprawling brawl style that you brought to the ring, and except you got that belt around your waist?
My style is never going to change. No matter how many injuries I go through or sustain throughout my career. I really feel like this downtime that I've had to, rebuild my body. I just wasn't I'm not just coming off the couch. Literally, I've been training my ass off ever since. I've done multiple procedures all over the world. They sent UFC me sent here and there, and this magical special shot. And doing all this rehab, I finally allowed my body to heal. I addressed some issues that have been correct for the past couple years. I feel like I'm firing all cylinders. I'm healthy. I had no hiccups this camp. I'm faster. I'm stronger. My cardio is off the charts. So it's going to be the same me going in there against TJ on November 4th.
And a final question for me: Will a victor of TJ kind of officially stamp the beginning of the Garbrandt era in this division, as you basically would have been and taken out the two most dominant champions of the division up until this point?
With a knockout over TJ, I wiped out the division. There's a big gap between myself, and then it goes Dominic, and then TJ, and then it falls off from there. So, like I said, TJ is my next adversary, my next challenge. I know what he brings to the table. I'm focused and prepared on that to wipe him out and then go on from there. I always like to have a fight ahead of myself, plan ahead, and obviously focusing on TJ, but Mighty Mouse is next at 125 pounds.
Oh, so you plan on being a two-division champion, and can you make 125?
I can make 125 on November 4th if I wanted to.
And TJ Dillashaw has joined the call.
Oh, TJ, question for you. What are you going to bring to the table to deter Cody, who's been on the ramp and knocking everybody out? What do you have to do differently that Dom didn't do? And for the historical significance, do you think this is to see who's the official man at 135?
Absolutely, man. He did a great job. He fought Dom very smart. I'm just going to go out there and do what I do. You're going to have to wait and see the game plan. I'm not going to get out here and spill it all out now. But, yeah, man, it's going to be a great night, and I can't wait to get it done.
And he said that if he's victorious of you, he wants to fight Mighty Mouse. Do you want to still fight Mighty Mouse and be a two-division champ if you were be victorious on them for it?
It's one step at a time. I'm fighting Cody Garbrandt right now. That's always an option. That's always something. Mighty Mouse is the pound king right now, so that's who everyone's gonna want to shoot for. He's the one that's with the target on his back, and yeah, man, I'm trying to be the best in the world, so that's always an option.
Good luck to all y'all. See y'all in NYC next week.
Alrighty.
And next question comes from Damon Martin with MMAweekly.com.
Hey, guys, first question for Cody. Cody, when you and TJ were going to fight back in July, this was going to be the headline fight. I know they tried to put it together for October as a headline fight. Do you mind being co-main event to Bisping GSP? Because it kind of feels like you guys had that main event feel to this fight.
Yeah, this isn't a gimme fight. The GSP Bisping fight's a gimme fight. They're just trying to sell tickets. Our fight sells on all avenues, all angles, everywhere. Everyone wants to see this fight. It's a grudge match. It's two fighters going to go out there. It's a former interim champion fighting a former champion. So that in itself is the main event. No disrespect to Rose and Joanna. I think they're great fighters, but we're the real main event on November 4th.
Do you feel like this fight has gotten the attention it deserves, Cody? Because there was so much build-up with The Ultimate Fighter. We know the history between you and TJ. I mean, do you feel like you guys are getting the attention you deserve going into the event?
You know what? It's good. Bisping and GSP they can travel around the camp and do all the press and media. I can sit back and just train and focus on TJ November 4th. Like I said, I don't think it needs to be any overhyped than it's going to be. It's a fight that doesn't need hype, doesn't need media press behind it or any of that. I think the fight sells itself.
When you were going into the fight with Dominic, he was talking a lot of trash, trying to get in your head, and he kept saying that you were over emotional and you were getting too wound up leading into the fight. And then obviously we saw what happened at UFC 207 is a much different performance. Do you think that fight kind of proves that even if you do have an emotional attachment to a fight, you can still go in there and fight your fight? Because everyone knows the bad blood between you and TJ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I fought my whole entire life, in different circumstances, no matter where it was at. I always had to stay level-headed and calm in there. If you fight another person that's trying to take you out, no matter what's said, in the build-up or in between, I got to stay focused. And that's something that I do in there. When I step inside that octagon, that's my home. That's where I feel the most comfortable at in my entire life. I feel like that's when the world slows down. I can see all my shots, see what my opponent's doing, and I'm at home there. So I can't wait to get back in there and do my thing. It's been 11 months since I've graced the octagon with a master class performance. And I'm ready to do it again on November 4th.
When the fight with Dominic was over, you were very classy. Obviously you paid respect to him, and you even said right away you'd give him an immediate rematch. I know there's a different personal feeling with you and TJ. Do you feel like after this fight's over, you'll be able to shake his hand and kind of move on from this rivalry?
Of course, I respect any of my adversaries after the battle. You know what I mean? Before, lead up, whatever. We can hate each other, dislike each other. You can call names, whatever. Do whatever it is, you know what I mean? But if you go on there and I'll show respect to you in there, and I'll respect you after the fight. I think that I grew in the fight with Dominic, and I'll grow in the fight with TJ. Whatever TJ is willing to bring to the table, I'm willing to go over and set it above, and I'll show my respect after the fight.
And for TJ, so much was made when you left Team Alpha Male about you're moving to Colorado to work with Dwayne and work with Muscle Farm. But I know in the lead up to this fight, you've kind of relocated to Southern California. You're working with a new team there. I mean, how did that come about, and what happened with the Colorado situation that you ended up leaving there?
Muscle Farm decided to move their facility from Colorado to Burbank, which kind of disbanded the team a little bit. And so I have decided to create my own thing. Something to create and call your own, as well as, Dwayne's been traveling. I'm actually taking him to the airport right now, traveling out to Southern California. So it's been the same work and adding to it, creating our own family, creating our own team,
Yeah. Has there been, considering the rivalry that grew out of that situation, and obviously as you lead into this title fight, do you have any regrets about any of the things that kind of played out the way they did, or do you feel like, it all kind of led you to this point?
It all led up to this big fight. Like Cody said, me and him are the real main event of this card. 70% of the fans want to see our fight more than any other ones on this card. So it all led up to this for a reason. It's building our names. It's building what's going on. It's definitely not how I foreseen it going down, but it all worked out for the reason that it did, and it's going to make the most of it.
You kind of answered, but I'll
let me answer that for you, Damon. Sorry to overtalk you, Damon. Let me answer that for you. Yes, he regrets it every day of his life, but his ego won't let him admit that. Let's be honest, DJ.
I disagree.
Okay.
And TJ, last question. You kind of mentioned it already, and Cody mentioned it. Maybe one thing you guys will agree on is you feel like this is the real main event. I know it's no disrespect to Bisping and GSP, but do you kind of agree that this is the fight that everyone's really going to be watching on November 4th?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you, Damon.
And as a reminder, everyone, that is *1 to ask a question. From MMAindia.com, we'll go to Akhilesh Janavarapu.
Hey guys, good afternoon. Firstly, Cody, we know the history between TJ and Team Alpha Male. Now, how much of an input did Uriah Faber have during your training camp while preparing for Dillashaw?
Could you say that again, please?
Sure. We know the history between TJ and Team Alpha Male. How much of an input did Uriah Faber have during your training camp while preparing for Dillashaw?
Input? All my teammates, they built TJ up to where he's at, and they know TJ like the back of his hand. They got me ready for Dominic Cruz. They went countless hours, 27 rounds, with Dominic Cruz, and they built up so they knew him. So they taught TJ everything, and I had Justin Buckles, in the camp this whole camp the last year, preparing for TJ, getting ready for this guy. And Justin showed him how to teach a punch, throw a punch. So I'm supremely confident, knowing TJ when I get in there and his reads and everything. But I fight instinctual. I fight instinctual, and we'll go from there. But yeah, if Uriah's had a great mentor and hands-on this camp as well for getting me prepared for TJ as well.
Right, and you also seem to thrive when there are emotions on the line, as seen with your fight against Dominic Cruz. Do you feel the same way? Do you think having an emotional attachment has any impact on how you perform?
You know what? No, I can fight emotionless and